Hi, good afternoon. It's Jim from maverickstar Observatory. Guys, I just thought a tech means we've got no data in really till tomorrow evening. A bit of a back seat and just observe what's going on. As you know, I'm very passionate about science, so when I got spare time, I like to fill it up with information on what I can find with regards to what's going on in the scientific community and in general what's going on in science. One of the things I'd come across yesterday was a documentary about America trying to land a drone vehicle on the moon so that they can search for minerals of wealth, and if they can locate them, try and get the drones there then to mine it for them and return them back to Earth. I was watching a particular team in America. I'm not sure where they're getting the funding from. There is more than one team that are trying to achieve this, and also they are competing with China, who has a lot of funding in this. And if you've been watching recently over the last 6 months, you know that China have put vehicles and landers on the moon. So pretty much already leading the field, as us in the Western world are slowly falling behind. We have definitely took our foot off the gas here. And, as a result of that, we're going to lose out. You see, not many people in this day and age are interested in science, are interested in space exploratory and, things like mining of the minerals on the moon and other minerals that we can find in our solar system and even outside our solar system. And not only that, other things that we can find out scientifically about the planets within our solar system. We're just living in a world where less and less funding is going to science. And I was watching this documentary, and one of the teams in America are funding it themselves. They already work an 8-hour day job, and then on the evening probably put about another 4 or 5 hours into the design and prototyping of their space vehicle that hopefully they will be able to get into space themselves and send on its way to the moon. These aren't small steps, and I know that's a bit of a cliche, isn't it? When you remember what Neil Armstrong said, this is one small step for mankind, but one giant leap, or something. Can't remember what was it now? Oh, come on, the famous saying: "This is one step for mankind, one giant leap." No, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Something along those lines. I think you know where I'm going with anyhow. But those words seem like they're in the distant history of our planet now. I think it was in the 1950s when, we went to the moon, or 1960s. And, I haven't returned back since. I know there's a lot of conspiracy that people would say, did we go to the moon, didn't we go to the moon? But it doesn't really matter. The fact that funding no longer gets funneled into projects like this, where mankind can broaden his horizon and, search for the unknown, is pretty sad. What we do see recently over the last few days is a president come into power in the United States and already sign some executive orders to put them back on track with the Paris Agreement, which is the climate change agreement, which believes that climate is in a favour of warming caused by CO2. This is something that not just me but many other scientists have laid down to rest, and the facts have been proven. If climate is getting warmer, which clearly it isn't, but if it is, then surely it should be rising at the same rate that CO2 is, and we see that it's not. CO2 might be marginally rising, very, very small amounts, nothing in the way that they hype that it is. They make it sound like we're going to die, and you even get organisations like you get those protesters, don't you? Extinction Rebellion groups saying that our kids won't have a life in the future because it will be that hot that will have driven it out of control, beyond means of any control, and it will be too late. Well, we've proven again, that when CO2 increases, the only thing that benefits from that is biodiversity across the planet. We've also looked into the fact that if CO2 dramatically drops, and when I say dramatically, it doesn't have to drop that much, but just by 200 parts per million from 415 on average, which it is now. If it dropped by that amount, then we'd be shutting down the ecology of specific biodiversities that depend on that CO2. That would be the line that would be crossed, and we would wipe it out. It's a very frustrating world we live in. Trying to get people to agree on one thing is impossible almost, because everybody's got an opinion, and even though it's not an expert opinion, they still have their opinion and like to share it. It's almost like a religion, with groups like Extinction Rebellion that believe that much, that if we increase CO2 to the point of a couple of 100 parts per million, we'll kill everything on the planet. I have never seen any scientific evidence to support their claims. We have even in recent years had someone high up in Greenpeace, which has now changed his tune and started to say, we'd do more damage if we didn't continue to mine for crude oil and natural gases. We'd do more damage to people's lives than what we would if we continued to do it. He has taken a complete 180 degree on this. I forget his name now, but even people like Greenpeace are slowly coming round to the truth. Some of these little voices like ours here are getting listened to, but I'm afraid that the rate of which we're getting listened to is way too late. If the president on his first day wants to sign executive orders to re-initiate the Paris Agreement and wants to join the World Health Organization and give taxpayers' money away to these things, then I think it's pretty sad. As well as I know that Biden won't be funding any moon missions and trying to get and keep that grip on moving forward with technology and exploration. Instead, he'll give the money to organisations which will probably get backwashed to some of his friends, and as they all do, it doesn't matter who's in power, it really doesn't. This is just a digression of humanity that we're all witnessing right now, and I do feel sometimes that nature is against us. And as long as we continue to wipe our arse on this planet, it's going to continuously be against us. We do have an opportunity to be better stewards, look after the rich diversity of species on this planet, and make sure there is room for all of us. But we're losing it, and I think it's sad. Where will we be in 15, 20 years' time? They are destroying everything good about the Western culture. We used to have great things said about us around the world. And, we are losing that. And it's sad. Because we was at some point setting an example for other countries, and now we've got countries like China, which are clearly beating us financially, beating us in technology. And, we see, don't we, time and time again, our own countrymen and women selling us out to the highest bidder. It's incredible. It really is. So, I just thought anyhow, that I would, share a few thoughts on, what I've been thinking about over the last few days. Because I guarantee you, from where I can see, none of this is going to change. Taxpayers will continue to have their taxpayers taken off them, and they will not get a say in what it gets spent in. You know, the general public do in some circumstances, especially in our observatory's circumstances, have an option. You know, they can give their money to an observatory like ours, and we can do what we say we do with that money. You know, and we have done miracles with the small amounts that we've raised here at the observatory, with the little bit of funding that we've had. And, you know, they have the option. You can willingly give it, or you can have it taken off you. You can willingly give it, and it will be spent on what you are giving it to, that cause, or you can have it taken off you and somebody else will give it to whatever cause they feel fit. And in this day and age, that generally is for greedy and selfish personal gains. You know, as a whole, in general, we will all lose. All we have to do is watch this space. You don't need to have a crystal ball or be Nostradamus. You just have to have a little bit of common sense, knowledge about history, how things have happened before, you know, witness the mistakes that are being made again, and not learn from, you know, when they happened before, and you know what the outcome will be. You just have to sit back and wait for it to happen. Guys, you have an amazing day. There is a link down there if you want to help support our observatory. It's not mandatory, it's entirely up to you, but the links are down there. You can also hit that rarely hit button on our website, the donate button, and make a donation there if you want to. But other than that, you have a good day, and as always, bye for now.